Does the early bird catch the worm? Well, not always. As a matter of fact, sometimes the early bird, if you're a reseller, you won't find any worms if you're too early. This is something that's rarely, if ever, discussed in reselling, and so we should discuss it because the Ultra Advanced on eBay channel, this channel here, it's to talk about aspects of eBay and reselling that others don't talk about. Just little things that when you add it to your bag of tricks, you're going to be better at what you do. You're going to be more successful, you're going to make more money, and all of that. I just want to make the technical process easier. This channel isn't for Ultra Advanced eBay sellers. It's to make everyone ultra advanced on eBay. And I'm going to tell you right now, and I haven't said this in a while because my focus is not, I hope, on me on this channel. I want to make it about you and how to improve what you do, how to make your job on eBay easier and more powerful and ultimately wealthier. But if you do click like, and if you subscribe and you haven't yet, and if you will click the hype button, that's a new button on a lot of YouTube videos that if you click, it will give extra attention to this channel and bring more people in. That will encourage me to do more. If you think I'm doing this channel for the income, oh man, you're really wrong. What income? I didn't get monetized until after 2 years, and that was 4 months ago, and 2 of the last 4 months, I didn't get paid anything. So we're talking about, as far as my compensation goes here, it would be nice just to have enough to make this worthwhile. But I've been doing it for 2 years for zero pay. I like doing this. Talk to anyone who's been in my previous groups where they paid good money to be in my group. You will hear them say he cares about us making money. He cares about being truthful to us. And that's just the fact. I'm not bragging. It's not bragging if it's true. If you will click like, it will help me, but it helps you too because YouTube knows to start showing you more channels like this. And if you happen to like what you see here once in a while, if you click like, and especially if you click the hype button, HYPE, on a cell phone, you have to scroll to the left a little bit under the video to see the hype button. But if you click that, you will get more videos like mine, not just more of me. You're going to get more videos like mine. So if you happen to be learning something from me, maybe making some more money, click like, click hype. I would really appreciate it. But if you don't, I still want to keep doing this. And let's talk about how we can maximize some of your income. And one way is to maximize the number of items you find. Now, assuming you don't want to do wholesale, assuming you don't want to do retail arbitrage, assuming you're thrilled like I am to make a lot of money, just finding really inexpensive items and selling them for a whole lot of money. I like doing that. I like being an everything seller. I don't like selling the same thing over and over. This is what interests me. It keeps me young, although I'm pretty young as it is. You know that. But definitely the top 3 places that resellers such as us, everything sellers, find things to resell, the top 3 places after you've exhausted your own house and neighbors' houses and things like that generally are garage sales, estate sales, and thrift stores. And then you've got flea markets and other places, but garage sales, estate sales, and thrift stores are the big 3 really for resellers. Let's start with thrift stores, which is kind of what we're looking at here. We're kind of looking at a generic thrift store. Let's say this thrift store opens every single morning at 9 a.m. and you're in line at 9 a.m. and you don't find all that many things, but you go every day because you don't want to miss anything. And you find, well, I've been going every day for a week and a half and they really don't have that many new items all the time. Well, that's a little bit misleading, because you're hurting yourself by going right when they open. Thrift stores generally, and this is true for National Goodwill stores, Salvation Armies, and even mom and pop shops, they don't get there at 4 a.m. and start stocking the shelves. They get there at 8:30 before they mop the floors and open the doors at 9 a.m. and then they start stocking the floor throughout the day. If you're there every morning when they open, you're not going to see a lot of new items from yesterday, because let's say that you were there yesterday at 9 a.m. and you walked in and you're finding not that many things over what you saw the day before. Well, what happened is the day before at 9 a.m. you were there and you left because you didn't find much, and at 11 a.m. is when they really started stocking the aisles. From 11 to about 3 p.m., people were buying some good stuff that was flying off the counters because it was good to resell. Those resellers that were not there at 9, that didn't try to catch the early worm on a thrift store, they were rewarded by being there at 11 because they were right there in the heart of when items are coming out on the floor, and they bought them all. That's why the next day you didn't see much more than you saw the day before. All the good stuff had been taken by the smarter resellers or the resellers who were lazier and they just got there later. But when it comes to resale stores, getting there a little bit later after opening is a better strategy. So don't be waiting at the doors when thrift stores open. Give them an hour or 2 to get some things out on the floor and show up then. Now, things are different at garage sales and estate sales. At garage sales and estate sales, you want to be there as early as you can. Garage sales are a little bit harder because they kind of just open when they open. They might say on a Facebook group, in a garage sale group for your town, which you should join, one or two if you find them. You should join a Facebook group for estate sales and garage sales in your town. And they say, we're going to open our garage sale at 7:30 a.m. Well, a lot of times they open at 7, or they're putting stuff out and they're not officially open, but they still let people come and buy things. Who's going to turn down money? So it's kind of hard to know when to go to a garage sale. I would say go earlier than they say they'll open, because you'll probably be one of those people that show up early. Be very polite. Once in a while, they just don't want a bunch of people there when they're trying to get things out. Respect that. That makes sense. I wouldn't want that either. But in general, if you're at a garage sale the moment they open, whenever that is, you're going to find better stuff than if you wait, because even though a lot of garage sales will put things out throughout the day that they go in and say, oh, I guess we'll put this out there too, maybe it'll sell. But in general, they've got everything out there close to the start of the sale. So you want to be the early bird at a garage sale. The same holds true for estate sales. Estate sales often will have a line. Many estate sales are very good about opening on time when they say they're going to open. Not all of them. It just irritates me when they say they're going to open at 8 and I'm there at 7:45 and they've been open for an hour and a half. That does happen, but in general, estate sales are better at opening when they say they're going to open. Sometimes you will get there early and walk up into a line like this. Well, that's okay. It's always a little bit frustrating when you see that, but the line moves pretty fast, and let me tell you, the majority of these people are not looking for the things you're looking for. That's what I have found. I'm looking for a lot of things. I've been doing this for 26 years. I know a lot of what to look for and what to buy that will resell me for a lot of money. And so do a lot of these people. And amazingly, our skills don't always overlap. I'm often in a part of the house that I thought I'd better run to this part of the house before all these other people go there, and I'm there for 15 minutes and no one has shown up. But it's really critical for estate sales because a lot of these people are really on the hunt. They want what's in that house. And I suggest you get there early, at least 30 minutes early, and get in that line. And if there's a line, don't be frustrated. You'll be fine. Unless it's 3 blocks long. But generally, 30 minutes early, it won't be a real long line. In an estate sale, the early bird does often catch the worm. In a garage sale, the early bird often catches the worm. I'm assuming all of you have heard that phrase before, the early bird catches the worm, or none of this is going to make any sense. I've got another trick for estate sales, often for garage sales, but mainly for estate sales. The thing about a garage sale is you can usually park pretty close to the garage, to the driveway, to the yard where the yard sale and estate sale is. In an estate sale, you're going all through these poor people's house. So if you've never been to an estate sale, generally, and this is true, a lot of times the old people just died and their kids are just going, we want to sell everything. They take the pictures maybe and maybe a TV, but they just want to sell everything and get done with it. And these people, you're walking by the bed that they might have died in. Sorry, but that could be the case with a lot of estate sales. It's weird. The first time or two you go, you're looking in these people's closet that were just getting clothes out of this closet 4 months ago. It's a little weird, but you'll get over it whenever you see all the deals that you can get. Now, I know estate sales can be expensive, but there are deals at every estate sale. There are. But the big trick of estate sales, to a lesser extent garage sales, is take bags. Take bags with you. Now, I've heard resellers say you should take boxes with you. That seems a little dumb to me to be carrying in a bunch of empty boxes. Take good bags. What are good bags? You can buy them at Aldi grocery store. I take 4 bags every time I walk into an estate sale. If my wife is with me, she takes 4 bags. We put a bag in a bag, and then we put those 2 bags in a bag, and then we put those 3 bags in an outer bag, and that's what you see here. I've got 3 bags in one bag, a total of 4 bags, and with very strong handles. These are natural grocery, but I think Aldi has these too. But if they don't, go to natural grocery. Surely Aldi does. For some reason, Aldi's on my mind. Like, surely they have these too, but maybe they don't. So go to natural grocery. You're going to find these great bags. Sturdy handles. Not plastic, not paper, reinforced plastic, like heavy duty, fibrous plastic, okay? Very heavy bags. And they will open up to the size of a large paper grocery store bag. They can hold a lot of things, but they fold up to almost nothing. And when you put 3 bags in one bag, you've got a lot of carry right here that other people at that estate sale won't have. They won't have it. Most people don't go loaded like this with bags to carry things. And you're just going to go putting stuff in your bags from the start. As soon as you see something, put it in your bag. Put it in your bag. Don't do comps. If you think it'll resell, grab it, put it in your bag. Put it in your bag. Load up your 4 bags, go to a corner somewhere, and all the questionable things that you weren't totally sure about, maybe you want to do a few comps at that point on your phone, put back some things if they're not worth selling after all. But you have won that estate sale if you do that. Now, there might be 1,000 other things that you need to be finding. So you need to be buying this stuff or taking it up front, because estate sales almost always have shelves that they will let you put things on while you go look for other things. So empty your 4 bags and put your name on the items and go back and load up the 4 bags again and keep loading up your 4 bags. Most people will be able to load up whatever they can carry in their arms. So you have a huge advantage by going with your bags. Now, some people go with an IKEA bag and it's just awful. Don't go with an IKEA bag. IKEA bags are just like these. They're these really strong, hefty, fibrous, strapping tape-like plastic bags with heavy-duty handles, but the bags are giant. They're huge. They're terrible for estate sales. And I have heard a rumor that says, I'm sure it's true because my wife told me this, some estate sales do not allow you to take in an IKEA bag, but they allow bags like these natural grocery bags. Why? It's because you've got this giant bag and you can't get through the halls. Other people can't get around you whenever you're loading up your IKEA bag. But be sure and get an IKEA bag. Here's why. They make great bags for taking packages to the post office. They hold a bunch of packages. Those little postal buckets that you might get that are we have a few of those. Those are not great if you have much mail. These huge IKEA bags are wonderful if you have a lot of mail to take into the post office every day whenever you have sales and you wrap everything and you take all your packages to the post office and you do the right thing and take them to the counter and get all of them scanned in because you're smart and you don't want to risk a postal truck catching on fire and they didn't scan your packages in and you're going to be getting negative feedback and marks against eBay that you never mailed something because you don't have any proof you mailed it because they didn't scan it in at your local post office. Not all post offices scan packages when you put them up on the counter like they say you can do. Always take them to a clerk and have them scanned. If you have your packages picked up at your house, that's smart. I don't do that. I maybe should, but we always go to the post office and get everything scanned in. So we use IKEA bags like crazy every day whenever it comes to carrying all of our packages. Usually, even all these packages here, I don't know how many packages that are. We could fit another 3 or 4 or 5 boxes in this thing, just from visually looking at this. And it would still be a total of 9 pounds, and these handles, no problem. You get 2 of these bags, 18, sometimes you get some books in a box and it gets kind of heavy, but usually these are fine. You can carry them in. These giant IKEA bags are for that, you should get them. You should order them. If you don't have an IKEA, go to one. They're really neat stores to see once and to eat some Swedish meatballs at. That's what you do at IKEA. Every time you go to IKEA, it's a law. You have to eat Swedish meatballs and they're really good. So do that and buy a couple of their bags for shipping, but not for walking into estate sales. And that's what I have today to tell you. Bags are important. Don't get to thrift stores early. Get to estate sales and get to garage sales early and take your bags. Arthur Dent said, be sure and take your towel. Greg says, be sure and take your bags.